Mr. Samson, followed by Linda Smith.
Good afternoon. I wish to speak against the proposed ag reserve land swap, which is being proposed to include two purported sweetener deals by GL Homes. It must be recalled that in '99, Palm Beach County voted to preserve farmland soil, farm jobs, water resources, and wetlands, which also serve as a buffer to the Everglades on the western edge of the ag reserve. This GL Homes will destroy the last of the preserved areas swap proposal and will set a precedent for future profit-driven speculation. Some of the sweetener deals are construction of a 740-acre water reservoir in Indian Trail Groves, but no independent peer-reviewed modeling exists to verify the reservoir's hydrologic benefits. Independent water expert analysis suggests significant management obligations and county taxpayer burden, but the GL reservoir benefits will be small and insignificant. Meanwhile, I am not aware of any written guarantees from GL Homes regarding their promises of a major increase in our water supply. And will there be a penalty clause if the county does not recover what GL promised to deliver? At the October 24 meeting, no time will be asked and will be available to ask pertinent questions, but we will be a captive audience to their prepared presentations. It is important that we have our own water expert to provide testimony to the merits of the arguments. It must also be emphasized that the county's internal staff examined the proposal, but this does not constitute an independent objective analysis. Some commissioners say water is life. True enough, but this would be an exercise in futility which does not accomplish its intended effect. In the meantime, the Palm Beach can help provide solutions to the problem of Lake Okeechobee becoming the most polluted lake in Florida with high levels of toxic algae and agricultural runoff. It is the second largest freshwater lake in the continuous USA, behind Lake Michigan. And what about workforce housing? Since GL Homes has avoided this by paying fees to circumvent the construction of these edifices. Recently, I understand some flamingos were spotted in the Everglades. This is not very common. Our wildlife is increasingly becoming threatened. This verdant landscape must be appreciated and protected. It provides wildlife habitat for native flora and fauna and a haven for transient and migratory wildlife. Let's confer with the Bible, Genesis 2:15. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work and take care of it. Let's also confer with the Jewish Midrash, Ecclesiastic Rabbah 7:13. When God created the first human, he took him and led him around all the trees of the Garden of Eden and said to him, "Pay attention that you do not corrupt and destroy my world. If you corrupt it, there is no one to repair it after you." Thank you.
Ms. Smith.
Linda Smith, Jupiter, Florida, representing over 5,000 members and supporters of the Sierra Club Loxahatchee Group. I'm here to remind you and the folks listening or watching on TV, yes, I want to get everyone's attention, people listening at home, there will be a historic vote on October 24th. Depending on how 5 commissioners vote, there will be a development coming to you. Any preserve area in all of Palm Beach County is going to be up for grabs. Any zoning rule can just be thrown out the window for a sweetener. The proposed reservoir would not constitute an actualized public benefit. I have provided a handout and you will get it in your mailbox soon. I encourage one of the braver commissioners to request Chris McVoy, who is here today, to speak for more than 3 minutes on October 24th. We know GL Homes will be allowed to present their proposal for over 20 minutes. The reservoir capacity is too small to significantly benefit targeted waters. Other projects already in progress will provide the needed benefits. If the professionals, South Florida Water Management District, had needed the proposed GL Homes reservoir, they would have asked for it. They have not. When South Florida Water Management needed a reservoir, they not only asked for it, they paid for it. Workforce housing needs to be located by actual jobs, services, transportation, recreation, healthcare, schools, not in the ag reserve. Public park. What kind of park is it this week? Is it an ATV, dirt bike, soccer, basketball, horseback riding? And isn't providing a public park your job, not GL Homes? Religious facility. What happened to the separation of church and state? This week, the Jews are celebrating the agricultural festival of Sukkot, I'm mispronouncing that, which appreciates nature and the miracle of growing food. Isn't that ironic? When does it stop? High rises in the Ag Reserve? You have already allowed projects higher than the zoning limits and against COBRA's objections. Separate issue, proposed development is only 3,500 feet from the National Wildlife Refuge. Where is the line in the sand? All preserve areas in your neighborhood, I'm speaking to the public, can be swapped for land north, west, somewhere else, not near you. And why not? If GL Homes is allowed to swap the land they already promised to preserve when they developed the Hayden Ranch property years ago, every developer will want the same profitable deal. And I ask the public if they think that the county commissioners will uphold the zoning rules in their neighborhood. Developers are in the business of making money. We all understand that. But commissioners' only business is for the protection of the public's health, safety, and welfare. Thank you for your time.
Dr. McVoy followed, and then that would be my last card. Thank
Dr.
you.
McVoy, who also is the Vice Mayor of the City of Lake Worth Beach, thank you for joining us in Chambers today.
Okay, thank you. My comments will be very little focused on the Ag Reserve, but they're very much focused on the water project that is being weighed as a counterbalance to the Ag Reserve. I'm going to deal with cost at the first thing because I think it's actually kind of the least important part of it. But as you think of the cost of the water project, the obvious thing that comes to mind is the operating O&M costs. The real cost is what you're doing to the Ag Reserve. That's the real cost, and that's all I'll say about that. On the operating and O&M costs, if you look at Appendix 2, which as far as I can tell comes from GL Homes as part of a proposed MOU, there is nothing in there on water quality monitoring, on biological operation of a water treatment area. If you do minimal research on how to operate a constructed wetland, it is tricky. Talk to the water management people down the block. It is not easy to keep a wetland going that has man-made water coming into it and changing water levels and all those things. It's an ongoing thing. I've been out doing research in those to monitor that myself. That cost is not included in the $100,000 that they provided. So in terms of process, I'm going to raise some questions, certainly, and I think this gets into what the county commission should do in the way of due diligence in considering this thing. To quote from the city of West Palm Beach, GL Homes claims the following, that the project will store and clean water, reduce discharge to Lake Worth Lagoon, improve water quality. As I've stated before you, those are all very positive things. Nobody is against those. The statements are true, but if you look at those statements, there is absolutely no quantification with them. If I reduce by 1 eyedropper full the amount of dirty water going in the lagoon, I can honestly state that I have benefited the lagoon. You as county commissioners should come back and ask me, how big's your water dropper and how big is it relative to the volume of the lagoon? You should be insisting on those numbers. Are you aware, as the commission, that GL Homes submitted an application to the Water Management District, SFWMD, in February? They withdrew it in July. In March, the district asked them for additional information. GL Homes never responded. Those should be warning signs for you. Those should be alarm bells. In terms of harmful algae blooms, it was asserted that this project, the water project, might help reduce West Palm Beach harmful algae blooms. Again, a wonderful goal, something we had it happen. We shut down West Palm Beach water supply for a while. It's a surface water supply. It's exposed to harmful algae blooms. The literature review says constructed wetlands don't do much of anything for harmful algae blooms, and that's logical. It's not what they're intended to do. They don't have the capacity to do that. What does the response of the county say to the city's very good, West Palm Beach's very good questions? The response, if there's a bloom in the constructed wetland, is we'll stop pumping. That's not a solution. Is there any water quality monitoring of the constructed wetland for that? No.
Excuse me, sir. Sorry about that. Your 3 minutes are up.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's the last card we have, Mayor.
Okay, so we are going to conclude public comment or matters by the public. And we are going to move to, we are now on item 5E1. This is